Hi flute players! Today we're going to learn how to form our embouchure to play the flute. So what you need today is your flute head joint, and if you have one, a really small straw. Okay, I prefer stirring straws, but if you have a small drinking straw similar to those that you get from Chick-fil-A, or another fast food restaurant, that would be good. You just want to avoid the really large ones that you would get with like a milkshake. And it needs to be plastic so that you can bend it. Okay, so forming the flute embouchure. So the first thing you're going to do is grab your head joint. Okay, so it's on your lap and it's ready. And I want you to take this video somewhere that has a mirror so that you can see yourself and compare it to what I'm doing. All right, because that'll be very, very helpful. So step one is to put some space between your teeth, because I see a lot of beginners come in and we're going through our steps and playing our instruments and their teeth are really close together. So I want you to put your teeth apart, okay? Just a little bit, not a lot, but separate them. They can't be closed. And the next step is I want you to close the corners of your mouth. And I say firm your corners like this. For me, when I firm my corners, I get little dimples. See? And I want you to say the letter M, just like this. Don't roll your lips and don't go like this. M. It's not humming. We're just saying M and kind of placing our lips together. And then I want you to say poo, like Winnie the Pooh. Okay, so you're thinking M, then poo, but you're not going to actually say it. Okay, so firm corners, teeth apart, poo. So what we're trying to accomplish when forming our embouchure is a small hole right here in the middle called an aperture. It's where the air is going to go across our tone hole. Poo. Now, if you have a straw, this is how I teach my beginners to form that embouchure, okay? So you put the straw in your mouth. Don't hold it with your teeth. Don't do that. So hold on to it. And I want you to blow through your straw and make sure no air is leaking around the hole. Firm corners. And then I want you to remove the straw while you're still blowing. So you're kind of blowing it out of your mouth. And I want you to pay attention to the tiny aperture that's left. Okay, so Okay, so what we want to avoid is pooching our lips out like that. That's really bad. Or what I call spreading your lips, okay? That's where you don't have a small hole. Instead, you just got a big line of air like this. See how it's a big open slit? That's not okay. So, corners. Okay, so the next step is to take your finger and place it right here on your lip. And I want you to do the same thing, poo, and blow across your finger, and you should be able to feel your air. Just like that. So if you can't feel your air, you need to adjust your air direction, which we're going to practice doing right now. So now I'm going to put my hand in front of my face. And I'm going to do my flute embouchure, but I'm going to practice manipulating my air. Okay, I'm going to experiment with air direction by moving my jaw forwards and backwards, okay? Because we want to be able to have control over our instrument. And our instrument is actually our body and our embouchure, okay? So, So try to aim for maybe the center of your hand and then try to hit down below. See if you can get it to move around. And what are you doing that's making the air change direction? So really pay attention to your embouchure and your body and what's creating that. Okay, do you see that? So the next step is to take your head joint. You understand how to firm your lips so that they stay together, and just create the smallest aperture right here, because you don't want it spread and you don't want to pooch your lips. That's bad. Okay, so you're gonna take your head joint and you're gonna close it off like this. That's just gonna give us a little bit of air resistance, which is similar to having the rest of our flute on our instrument. So you wanna take your lip plate and put it on your lip. So what I want you to do right now is find your tone hole and put it directly lined up right here over your lips. Okay, so it's centered. I can feel the entire hole. And then you're gonna roll down like this. Okay, we call this in class the kiss and roll. And we'll do it for a few weeks and then we'll stop doing it because it'll be really natural for you to find the location. Okay, so right now we just use this technique to find the correct placement of the mouthpiece on our lips. So you put it to your lips, roll it down, but not too far. Can you see the tone hole? No, okay? And I can still feel with my lip the edge of my tone hole on my lip. Okay, so together. Now we're gonna form our embouchure, now that it's in the correct location. We're gonna do a nice stream of air. So really sit tall, you should be in a chair, don't sit on your bed or on the floor. Definitely not the floor, that's really bad because you're gonna be hunched over and you can't fill up both lungs. So take a good breath for this first attempt. Kiss and roll, form your embouchure, Embouchure. Now this time I want you to experiment with your head joint, okay? To try to achieve the best quality sound you can, all right? So while you're blowing across your tone hole, I want you to roll your head joint in and out and try to find the perfect spot for you, okay? So kiss and roll, firm corners together, poo, and then roll in and out. Okay, so if you're having trouble creating that first sound, that's okay, because it does take a little bit of practice to get that first initial sound out of your head joint. So common mistakes that I see in class, which is why I want you to practice in front of a mirror, is I see a lot of tone holes that are not centered on the face. They'll be way over here or way over here, and it's because you either didn't kiss and roll or you didn't practice effectively in front of a mirror. So this doesn't work. See, you want it to be dead center on your face. The second thing that I see a lot is students trying to play into the hole, or they're ignoring the placement of the hole altogether, and I can see it from the front of the room. They're like, Miss Pfeiffer, it's not working. Like, there's no way it's gonna work because I can see your tone hole from here, okay? So you don't want to blow into it. That doesn't work. And you can't do that either. So that's why it's really important that you use a mirror, kiss and roll. And you experiment with finding that perfect location for you. So one thing as a brass player myself, I have to remind myself when I'm playing flute for students to keep the connection of my lips right here. I tend to get lazy and try to play. Have you ever tried playing an empty bottle and you blow across it and it makes a sound? I start trying to do that and that doesn't work. So really pay attention with, are your lips connecting all the way down on both sides and just forming a tiny aperture that's about the size of a straw? So really the best thing to do is to practice with a straw I bend it flat so that it's more like the shape of your lips. Okay, so it's more flat. And then I practice doing that. See, that's what I'm trying to achieve, and as a trumpet player, I tend to get lazy with my flute embouchure. So, kiss and roll. See? So once you are comfortable with that, I want you to practice your kiss and roll, creating a good note, and then seeing how long you can hold out that pitch, okay, with good quality tone. As soon as it starts to waver or not sound pleasant to the ear anymore, stop. All right, and then start over so you can make it into a little competition. If you held it for 10 seconds the first time, then aim for 12 the next, and just keep increasing it till you understand how to effectively use your air. And one thing I want to mention about airstream on the flute that I kind of forgot to talk about is when we're blowing across the tone hole, we're not blowing 100% across. I would say it's closer to like 70 in, 30 across, but your air direction needs to touch the other side of the tone hole. So you don't want it all trying to aim it directly down, okay? It needs to go across and hit this. And one thing my woodwinds teacher taught me was when you are practicing in front of a mirror, and I don't know if you can see it on here, when you have a perfect embouchure and a perfect aperture, your instrument will fog up right here, and it will form a perfect V like this, okay? So that's how I learned to correct my embouchure, was creating that V. Let's see if I can do it for you. So you practice doing that yourself and see if you can form not only good quality sound, but get that really cool steam V on your instrument. All right, that's it for flute embouchure. If you have any questions at all, let me know. Bye.